All right, once more. Welcome. I am HIS-jules Purpose. It's a pleasure to be here another day sharing some inspiration and positive words with you. So the thought came and I wanted to share on the topic or the idea of seeing through the mask in relationships. And the reason why I want to speak on this is because, hey, we're in the month of February, and February is the month of love, the Lovers Month. It's the month where we celebrate love and Valentine's Day, and a lot of people become anxious, overwhelmed, and it's just a big thing, especially to those who are not in a relationship or married. A lot of people who are single, when February comes or Valentine's is approaching, they become, they feel anxious or they feel lonely during the season because of how it has been publicized or advertised. Everyone's so excited about it. It's the season where, people shop around. At this time, a lot of people are buying flowers for their partners and doing all the things that, if you're in a relationship, it should be done on a regular basis, not once a year, if you ask me. But that's just how it is. So I want to talk about the whole idea of removing the mask. And I say this because love, what's love got to do with it? People see love as, it's love for a lot of people has a lot of different reasons. Love means different things to different people. But to me, and I say me as a Christian, as someone who is God-fearing, love is, according to scripture, the biblical scripture, love is patient, love is kind. Love is anything that reflects God. And how Valentine's Day has been promoted, it doesn't necessarily reflect that type of love. It reflects, that instant gratification, everything that has to do with flesh and desires, and not about the pure, authentic love that God has created us to enjoy or to share with our partner. I believe before we try to enter into any relationship, we should actually be in a relationship with ourselves first, Of course, we should try to have a relationship with God, but not everyone is spiritually minded. Even though my platform is one where I speak on positivity and it's centered about faith-based, but I'm not going to be naive because not everyone on this platform is Christian. But what I will encourage all of us to do, if some of you haven't yet, instead of trying to search for love in another person, seek to have love within yourself. Seek to find that self-love, because once we understand and we have an idea of who we are, once we are focused on our own self-growth, self-improvement, once we value ourselves, once we focus on what our purpose is in this life, and we seek to understand why is it we're here, when we have a true understanding of who we are, then we will have a better mindset. We'll be able to better choose our partners. What I find is that a lot of people are choosing their partners based on physicality, how cute the guy looks or how beautiful the girl looks, how she's shaped, and, all of these things, and how rich she is, what they have, what they don't have physically or even monetary in terms of finances. But there are things that's deeper that we also need to reflect on. who this person is as an individual, their character, what shapes them. You know, a lot of people are not asking the right questions before they enter relationships. And this is why they find themselves in problems. They find themselves in relationships and situationships that they never should have found themselves in, because they entered it blindsided. Had they taken the time to grow within themselves, had they taken the time to love their own self, they would have been able to better choose their partner. Now, since Valentine's Day is approaching, this message is especially for those who they're single, they're seeking their partner, they don't, they're feeling lonely, they're not feeling complete or whole in their singleness, or for those who are in a relationship or even marriage, but the marriage or the relationship, it's not seeming to serve you. You're instead of you feeling happy and complete, it's just a lot of toxicities. You feel trapped even. You're not happy. And this is the reality for a lot of people, because you see, people feel, what I find is that a lot of people feel that in order for them to get over that lonely feeling that some of them have, they need to be in a relationship. And this is where the problem is. If you are afraid of being lonely, then there is a deeper issue. You don't need a partner if you are afraid. If you are someone who struggles with being alone, or you're afraid of being lonely, it means that there's something within you that, trigger those feelings. What is it that causes you not to feel whole or complete by being by yourself? Being single and happy is a beautiful thing, as opposed to be entangled or in a relationship or situationship, even marriage, and be unhappy. Like, make it make sense. Marriage was meant to be with someone who is able to help you navigate this life. Marriage is intended for you to be with your purpose partner, someone that you can build your future with, and it's not that you would be looking to build that person or that person should be building you. You should have already been built and that person be built, and together is two whole, two complete and healed people coming together to form one union and to form a team, to form a family, and this is not the reality for a lot of people. So I want to speak on this. How to remove the mask, looking beyond the mask, looking beyond the beauty, looking beyond the looks, or even what the person say when you're choosing a partner, or even who you may be with now, and it comes from being in a relationship with yourself. As you grow, when you take the time to have a relationship with yourself, and Jules, what do you mean when you say have a relationship with yourself? What are you talking about? I mean, you take the time to truly understand yourself. You're not in a relationship. You're not trying to be in a relationship. You're not dating anybody. You're just focused on your growth. You're focused on your improvement. You're focused on becoming the best version of yourself, and you are learning what you like, what you enjoy, and how you can become a better wife and a better husband when the time comes. This is what you do, or this is what you should be doing in your singleness. In your singleness, you should not be feeling sad, lonely, depressed, or even angry because you're not with someone. In your singleness, you should be using this opportunity to improve your own life. You should be using this opportunity to fix your credits. If your credit score needs to be fixed, improve your finances, have your own home if you don't have already. Do things that you need to do so that you can match whomever you're trying to attract. If you're trying to attract someone who is successful, ask yourself, are you yourself successful? Are you on the way of becoming successful? What are you doing for yourself so that you can attract who you want to attract? And I think a lot of people, they don't consider these things. They don't consider these things, but instead they want to look at what the world calls love. People these days, they're more focused on the physicality and being attached, and they don't want to be alone. They're afraid. They're so afraid of being alone. I find that people these days, they would rather be in a toxic, broken, and unhealthy relationship that they know is not serving them. Even if the person is not faithful or loyal to them, they would rather stay in that mess than to be alone. And that goes to show that there's something drastically wrong with an individual like that. Sometimes it's the brokenness, of the past. Sometimes it's childhood trauma that causes a person to not want to truly heal by healing on their own, by choosing themselves. Instead of them taking the time to choose them and to heal from whatsoever broke them, they instead rush from one relationship to another, trying to fill a void. And this is where it becomes dangerous. So if this is you and this is your situation, I encourage you to not try to look for love, especially in the wrong places. Seek to become the best version of yourself. And if you're looking for love and you're praying for love, position yourself so that love can find you, but don't become desperate for love. Love comes to those who are not seeking it. You position yourself and then love will find you. But if you are chasing it, then it's not going to come. The counterfeit will come. And that's facts. So if you're in a situation where it's just complete toxicity, but you don't want to leave, or you're afraid to leave because that's all you know, that's your safe place, your comfort zone. You're so used to the trauma, you're so used to the brokenness, you're so used to being cheated on, you're so used to being shouted at or abused that you don't understand or you don't see your worth or your value, because the brokenness has become a norm. And that shouldn't be. God didn't call you to be in a broken relationship or in a relationship that's not serving you or serving your purpose. So we have to learn to look beyond the mask, look beyond the facade that people show, look beyond the physical appearance. When it comes on to finding your purpose partner, when it comes on to love, you have to be careful. We must be careful and we must guard our hearts, because if we don't guard our hearts, then we will risk it all. Our purpose is so precious. It's like a treasure. And if you allow the wrong person in your life, in your space, then it can ruin everything that you've worked hard for. If you choose the wrong partner for your relationship, if you choose the wrong spouse, it can be so devastating. It can cost you financially. It can cost you your health. It can even cost you your life. Recently, I saw in the news that there was a murder-suicide. A pastor unalived or it's alleged that the pastor unalived his wife. Now, clearly, there must have been some misunderstanding or disagreement to the point where that was the result. And this just goes to show that these things can happen to anyone. And then another point I want to bring across as it relates to the same murder-suicide is that in the same comment section, I saw where someone made a comment and said, oh, and these are the people who are preaching to us, referring to the pastor. So when I saw that, I thought to myself, you see, these are the expectations that people tend to have about, well, the thing is, individuals, we hold pastors and other people who are in leadership positions, we hold them in such a high regard as if they're not prone to making mistakes, making errors, falling short, or even being a slave to their own traumas or weaknesses. We put them in such high regards as though they can do no wrong, as though they don't have struggles. So I encourage us to stop normalizing this trend as though your leader, your pastor, whomever it is that's who is in a leadership position, as though they're so high that they cannot do any wrong. We shouldn't do that, because in my opinion, it's a form of idolatry. It's as though we hold them in such high regards as though they're some type of God that they cannot fail. So when I saw this news about the murder-suicide and how the pastor unalived his wife, as it's alleged, I was not surprised. I was not shocked, because I am wise enough to understand that these are two human beings. At the end of the day, despite the fact that he's a pastor, he's also a man. He's a married man, and I don't know what their situation was, what their marriage is about, or the life that they lived outside of the church, but it just goes to show that the attacks come in every household, in any household. It doesn't matter who you are. Your marriage can come under attack. Your relationships can come under attack. If you're not careful, if you're not wise, if you create space for the enemy to come in, he will come in. The enemy cannot attack your family, your home, your marriage, your life without any loophole or without any invitation. Someone had to, whether consciously or unknowingly, invite that demonic force, that destructive spirit inside that unity, or inside of that, not unity, inside of the union, the home, the marriage, the relationships, or even in your own individual life. And how does this happen? What are the loopholes? What are the entry gates? It could be anything. It could be your eye gates, what you watch. Something that you watch that triggered and invited that spirit. It could be something that you hear. It could be listening to other words or listening to other people. Could be another woman, another man. I'm not saying that's the case in this particular situation that I gave an example of, but it is. This is the case for some people, some relationships. Maybe they're entertaining somebody else, So this is how the enemy gains entry into the marriage or the relationship. Maybe it's a different entry. There's so many ways, Even food, depending on what your food. If we're gonna speak on spirituality and, people can be wicked, be careful who you eat from. And that's something that's a whole nother discussion right there. But There's so many ways that the enemy can enter a relationship or a marriage, even if it's a God-ordained marriage. If you're careless and if you're not protective of what God has entrusted unto you, the enemy can enter. So we have to be wise and not be foolish. We have to be wise and not be foolish. Now, when I heard the news about that murder-suicide, of course it's unfortunate and sad, but it just goes to show how so many families, so many marriages and relationships, they're going through so many struggles and fights, and sometimes people, they go through these challenges behind closed doors, and when they're out in the public, they put on this mask and they pretend to be happy, and they know deep down that they're not happy. They're probably with a spouse who is abusive, whether physically, emotionally, verbally, abusive. There are people who are going through real struggles in their relationships. There are some people in relationships and marriages, and they cry themselves to sleep because they woke up and they realized that, hey, I made a mistake. I chose the wrong person. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. What do I do? This is a reality for a lot of people. And had they taken the time to not rush the relationship, if they had seek God's direction, seek counsel from other people, listen to advice from other people, and even listen to their inner self, their intuition. And if they had not focused on the physical appearances or what the person can do for them, but rather who the individual is, what their character is, if they had not covered up the red flags, then they would have been spared these traumas. So if you're in the situation, you're in a relationship or even a marriage and it's abusive, it's something that you feel as though it's not serving you, then you need to get out of it, because God didn't ordain that for you. And you need to find your healing and make room for the person that God has planned for your life. And to those of you who are single, you're not married, and you are desperately seeking to be in a relationship, while you are looking for a relationship, ensure that you are not being desperate. Ensure that you are content in your own singleness. Because being single is not a horrible thing. It's how you perceive it. It's your own perspective and your own mindset. It's what you do as a single person. You can be a single person and be happy. You can be a single person and still live a full life. Not everyone is called for marriage, but if you know that you're called to be married, you can be single and happy while you prepare yourself for your purpose partner, for your husband, for your wife. But don't be someone who's like, oh my God, I'm single. When is it going to be my turn? When is it going to be my turn? Valentine's Day is coming. I don't have a boo. I'm not booed up. Like, a lot of people are like this, especially Christian people, and you should stop. The Bible said, don't envy your neighbor. Stop coveting your neighbor. The grass is not always greener on the other side. A lot of times the grass looks greener and it's artificial. It's not real. Sometimes you're looking at the Instagram and you're looking at the pictures. You're looking at what other people have, their lives. You see their pictures and you assume that they're happy. They're not happy. They're faking it. Social media is not a real place. A lot of people, they post and they put on this facade and they look as though they're living their best life, and then they do hashtag relationship goals and marriage goals and yada, yada, yada. But deep down, they're not happy. So don't look at another person's relationship and idolize it, because oftentimes it's not as good as it seems. It's not as good as it looks. And even if it's really good, even if they're sincerely happy, you don't know what it cost them to get to where they are. You don't know what they had to go through in order to get their husband or in order to get their wife. So don't envy another person's relationship. It's okay to admire people, but don't envy them. I don't have relationship. I don't look at people and say, oh, relationship goals. There is not one couple that I'll look at and say, oh my God, I want that. No, I don't. Because I don't know what they had to go through to get that. And I don't know if they're sincerely happy. And that's facts. And that's facts. So I don't look at people's relationships and want that. I don't look at people's marriages even and say, oh yeah, I want that. You got to focus on your own life. You got to make room for what you want. You have to make room for the life that you want. Whatever it is you're looking for in a partner, make sure you're that person. Because God is not going to send you someone who is healed, transformed, successful, and whole while you're still in your mess, while you're still in your brokenness, while you're still in your toxic state. If you are still battling issues, you need to identify those issues and heal from those issues so that you don't enter a relationship and go mess up that person, the person who's already healed, and then you go mess up that person, go break their heart, and now that person is broken. No, God's not going to do that. So sometimes we delay our own blessings. Sometimes we delay our own breakthroughs because of our unwillingness to work on ourselves or unwillingness to focus on our lives. And because we are so, in Jamaican term, red-eye and bad mind and covetous of other people's relationships. God wants the best for us. God wants us to live our best life. But in order for us to live our best life, we must position ourselves. We must walk in alignment. We must walk in on purpose. What is your purpose? Do you even know what your purpose is? If you don't know who you are or what you're called to do in this world, what you're called to be, how are you going to know who you are to be with? Of course, you could be with anyone, but that could possibly cost you too. Because if you choose wrong, your entire destiny can be altered. Your entire bloodline can be altered if you choose the wrong person. So don't let, because of desperation, you choose the wrong person. And don't allow social media or the commercials or people with their fake teddy bears and their cheap roses and all of that to cause you to feel bad. If you want roses, you go to the flower shop, you buy your own roses. Simple as that, period. You don't have to wait on someone to do these things for you. And then in the right time, if you position yourself, the right person will meet you halfway. But don't be envious of what other people have, because a lot of these people are unhappy. And another thing, just because a person has been married for many years, 15 years, 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatsoever, it doesn't mean that they're happy either. The length of time does not mean a thing. Some people settle, some people stay in relationships that they are not even happy in, marriages they're not happy in, but they just stay for the sake of staying, they stay for the sake of children, they stay because they are ashamed, they don't want out, or they just don't believe in divorce. So don't look at the length of time. How many of those years were you happy? No, that's real talk. So if you don't want to be like the statistics and to be like those who are suffering silently, choose the right person. Choose the right person, position yourself. Understand that God is not going to send a person in your lap. They're not going to just come knocking on your door. You got to position yourself too. You have to do the work. You got to do the work. But while you're doing the work, be busy focusing on you as well. Focus on your life. Focus on your purpose. But align yourself so that you can also attract who you are looking to attract. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of your skin. Take care of your life. So that who you're trying to attract will want you. Because some of us, we're here waiting for the right person, but we're not doing the work. We're not elevating ourselves. We're not presenting ourselves in a way that that person you want to attract will even look at you. You got to carry yourselves in the right way as well. If you got to go to the gym, go to the gym. If you have to, whatever it is you got to do, just do so that you become the best version of yourself. Amen. So focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Focus on becoming the best version of yourself. And of course, the enemy always shows up. So when the enemy shows up, we block the enemy. We block all distractions and we block anything that doesn't serve us, doesn't serve our purpose. We block. As I just did. Anything that doesn't serve you, you get rid of it. So, this is what I wanted to share with us. Learn to unmask. Learn to look beyond the mask. Because when we meet someone, we don't automatically see the true individual. Unless God has blessed you with a spirit of discernment, you don't always know or have an idea what this person is about. So, learn to look beyond the layers. Learn to look beyond the mask and beyond what people say and how they present themselves. Take the time to truly know a person and their character. Do not ignore red flags. And know what your deal breakers are and don't settle. Do not settle or compromise at any cost. Know your worth, understand your purpose, and this way you will be able to align yourself with what serves you. And know that you're not alone. Know that you're not alone. So on this note, I want to invite us to read You're Not Really Alone. I wrote this book just for you. I have a chapter titled What's Love Got to Do with It? And in that chapter, I speak on the whole concept of love and the false idea that a lot of people have about love. A lot of people settle in the wrong relationships in the name of love. Oh, I love him, I love her, so I can't leave, you know. Yes, they're whooping you, but you can't leave. They're cheating on you, but you can't leave. The relationship is toxic, but you can't leave. What's love got to do with it? Love yourself. Love yourself first, and love yourself more than how you love that person who is ill-treating you. Love wasn't intended to be hard. Love wasn't intended to be a struggle. I don't believe in struggle love. I rebuke struggle love. I do not want struggle love. Struggle love is of the enemy. I don't want struggle love. I don't believe in that. So, I'm not encouraging struggle love at all. You fix yourself, you heal yourself, you build yourself so that you can attract someone who is also like-minded and compatible with you. Not someone that you have to struggle out life with. No. So, on that note, Valentine's Day is coming. And so what? You gotta love yourself. You gotta love yourself. And if you got a boo, your boo should be treating you with love every single day, not just on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is just an extra. If you're in a relationship and you're only getting gifts just on Valentine's Day, then that's just sad. That's sad. Let's value ourselves more. Value ourselves more so that we can attract the ones who will appreciate our worth. Okay, so HIS-jules purpose here, blessing you once more. Learn to look beyond the mask in relationships. Choose your partner wisely. Choose your partners wisely. But thank you all for joining my live. Live here on TikTok and on Facebook. I appreciate you all. Please make the right choices so that you won't come crying to me with a broken heart. And if you're going through any heartbreak or any disappointments, or you're going through a difficult time or challenges right now, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to speak with you. But if it's something that's deep and it's something that, you know, you're going through a trauma, and if you require professional help, then please be advised that I am not a professional or licensed mental health counselor, psychiatrist, psychologist, or any of the sort. I'm just a listening ear. But if it's a deep trauma, and if you have any thoughts of harming yourself, please reach out to a professional so that they can speak with you and offer you help and support. Otherwise, I'm here for you. Reach out to me anytime. Grab a copy of my book, You're Not Really Alone. Discover how to overcome obstacles, find your purpose, and heal from trauma. And follow me if you're not. I'll see you again until next time. Bye-bye.